For years, the Modi government's welfare schemes and measures have resulted in benefiting millions of people throughout the nation. Even during the pandemic that struck in 2019, while many nations, even developed ones, struggled to provide the basic care to their people, the Indian government's proactive measures stood out with last-mile delivery of ration and vaccines that benefited people across every segment of the society. The International Monetary Fund recently published a report in which it has observed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's flagship food security scheme, the Pradhan Mantri Garib and Yojana, averted rise in extreme poverty. Hi, I am Richa Dwivedi and this is NIJ Scoop. The IMF paper was published on 5th April and is authored by Surjit Bhalla, Executive Director for India at IMF, Arvind Virmani, former Chief Economic Advisor to the Manmohan Singh government, and Karan Bhasin, a New York-based economist. The new IMF paper titled Pandemic, Poverty and Inequality, Evidence from India, found that extreme poverty with purchasing power parity of less than $1.9 per person per day in India was less than 1% in 2019 and it remained constant even during the pandemic in 2020. The Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana has been critical in preventing any increase in extreme poverty levels in India during the COVID-19 pandemic. Low level of extreme poverty in 2 consecutive years with 1 pandemic year can be considered as elimination of extreme poverty. The doubling of food entitlements under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana worked significantly in terms of absorbing the COVID-19 induced income shocks on the poor. The pandemic shock was largely a temporary income shock that was absorbed by temporary fiscal policy interventions by the government. This comes at a time when Prime Minister Modi had announced the extension of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana last month till September 2022. Before we move on, here's a quick snapshot of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. The scheme was kick-started in March 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic and it was extended till March 2022 in November last year for 4 more months. Under the scheme, 5 kilograms food grains are provided per person per month over and above the regular monthly National Food Security Act food grains. Now, the paper has studied extreme poverty through estimates that for the first time include the effect of food subsidies on poverty and inequality. Extreme poverty was as low as 0.8% in the pre-pandemic year 2019 and food transfers were instrumental in ensuring that it remained at that low level in the pandemic year 2020. The post-food subsidy inequality was at its lowest at 0.284 in 1993-94. Now it is at 0.294, very close to the lowest level. Another determinant of poverty, consumption growth, was found to be higher in the period 2014 to 2019 than in the robust growth observed in the period 2004 to 2011. The government had in March 2020 announced the distribution of additional free-of-cost food grains that includes rice and wheat to about 80 crore National Food Security Act beneficiaries in the wake of the situation created by COVID-19, so that the vulnerable households do not suffer on account of non-availability of adequate food grains. At a time when the nation is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav marking 75 years of independence, eradication of extreme poverty comes as a significant achievement. Do let us know if you liked this video in the comments below. Until next time, this is Richa Dwivedi signing off. Dhanyavad and Namaste.